Hello. Also give it up for our MC, Hermes. Thank you. A little bit about me. My name is Kees, and that is a very typical Dutch name. It means a lot of things in different languages. So for instance, in English, a case is something that a detective works on. In German, are there any Germans in the house? Yeah? I guess, well, you already know what it means because case is like cheese in German. Yeah. In Dutch, it's something different. In Dutch, case means a 35-year-old man-child with daddy issues. Yeah. And I come from a small village in the Netherlands. It's in the middle of the Netherlands. I'm going to say the name, but for non-Dutch speakers, be aware, I'm not having a stroke. That's just, the name of the village is Scherpenzeel. Yeah, I'm still here. Don't repeat that, because if you say that 3 times, my dad will appear on stage and tell me he's disappointed in me, so it's never a good idea. I went back to the village recently, and where my old school used to be, they tore it down, and now there was a new neighborhood. And I was walking through the neighborhood, and as I was walking, I was like, wow, this is where my old school used to be, you know, and I recognized certain parts of it. I was like, oh, this is where the gym used to be, you know, where we used to have PE, and also I got bullied. You're allowed to laugh at this, by the way. I walked a little bit further, and then I was like, oh, this is where the playground used to be, you know, where we used to play games, and also I got bullied. And then I walked a little bit further, and I was like, oh, this is where the old bike shed used to be, you know, where I smoked in secret for the first time a cigarette. Yeah. And then I had to cough really loudly, and I got bullied. And I was walking through this village, or through this neighborhood, and I was recognizing all these places, and someone came out of their house and looked at me, and I was like, hey man, can I help you? Or what are you doing here? And I was like, oh, yeah, don't worry, this is where my old school used to be. And I was just like checking out the neighborhood, seeing what it is now. And I walked up to him, and I was like, hey man, my name is Kees, and he grabbed my hand, and he just went, hitting yourself. Why are you hitting yourself? Why are you hitting yourself? So, yeah, not everything changes in the village. Like I said, the village is in the middle of the Netherlands. That's in the Bible Belt. For those of you that don't know what the Bible Belt is, it's a part of the Netherlands where they are super, super religious. It's kind of like Disneyland, except it doesn't have any rides or decorations, and it's the grown-ups that believe in fairy tales. That's very, very cute. I think if you're a grown-up and you're still going to church, you're kind of like a Disney adult, you know? You're such a big fan, you're like, I'm going every week and I know all the songs. Yeah. And I was raised there. Next to me were 2 very loving, caring, and understanding parents. But enough about the neighbors. My parents were also there. And they raised me with religion, which is kind of funny because they raise you with this idea of like Santa Claus is real and Jesus is real. And then at some point they go, well, one of them isn't real, and you hope it's Jesus, but it's actually Santa Claus. They told me that this guy that like flies with a sleigh through the sky, like that's not possible. And I was like, okay, yeah, sure, makes sense. But then also the guy that walks with sandals on water, that's also not possible. And they were like, no, that's all true. That happened. That's a fact. I wish it was the other way around, you know. I wish that actually Santa Claus was real and Jesus wasn't real, because at least Santa Claus left me presents every year, and all that Jesus ever left me was feeling guilty after masturbating. And now I'm going to very smoothly segue into some new material. So, I was thinking, like, who would have thought, out of all the new technology over the past few decades, that the one thing that had staying power and is everywhere is the QR code? Who could have figured that one out? I mean, it's like a barcode that fell down the stairs. It's not even very original, and yet it's everywhere, right? It's on our menus, it's on our tickets, it's on our billboards. I mean, it's even in the Epstein files. There are so many black redactions in the Epstein files that you can actually scan it and it'll take you to a meal voucher. kids' meal, obviously. Something else that I learned recently is the term luteal phase. Does anybody know what that is? I see some women nodding and some guys are like, what? Yeah, this is the thing I learned. The luteal phase, and please correct me if I'm wrong, I'm looking at two women here. It's between the phase between ovulation and menstruation, right? Yeah. So basically, what I learned is that women have absolutely no day off in the month. It's all horrible. And I told this to my girlfriend, and she was like, yeah, basically women have, please correct me if I'm wrong, this is what she said. She said, basically women have 3 or 4 days out of the month where they feel absolutely no discomfort whatsoever. And I was like, wow, that's so rough. 3 or 4 days. Men have 31 out of 31 days where they feel no discomfort. Or in some cases, 30 out of 30 days, obviously. And in February, 28 out of 28 days. And then once every 4 years, in February, still 28 out of 29 days, because nobody feels comfortable on a leap day. Yeah. We have no idea what that is. Nobody knows what a leap day is. Like, once every 4 years, we need an extra day, otherwise time is broken. And we're all just like, yeah, sure, that makes sense. Yeah, why not? Why not add another thing to what is already like the most fucked up month out of the year? February is already the weirdest month out of the year. It has 28 days. It has the most stupid holiday, Valentine's Day. It has the, wait, hold on. I got the right one, I'm lost. Oh, you don't know how to spell it? That was the joke. There's a secret R in there somewhere. Anyway, I wanted to leave you with this because I thought this was very interesting. He was a skater boy. And she said, see you later, boy. Do you know those lyrics? Good. Now he's a superstar, slamming on his guitar. And I mean, what are the odds of that happening? How could she have known? Right? There's no way. Anyway, she should have just said yes to some guy that was like, hey man, I want to date you. And she's like, nah, you're not good enough for me. And he's like, well, maybe I'll be a rock star in a few years. That's just me. Maybe this'll get you over the edge. 5 years from now, she sits at home, feeding the baby, she's all alone. She turns on TV, guess who she sees? Skater boy rocking on MTV. She recognizes the dude that asked her out like 5 years ago or something. That's incredible. I'm the only one impressed. Well, maybe the reason I am the only one impressed is because, you know, I used to be a skater boy, and there was a lot of pretty women that said goodbye to me. You know, and that's like, good for them, because I'm here. I'm not a rock star slamming my guitar on MTV. So they dodged the bullet. Thank you so much.